A few months ago, I released an updated video comparing VMware Workstation to Virtualbox. Now, it was done using Windows as the host OS. And recently I got to thinking, I wonder how VMware and VirtualBox would stack up with Linux as the, host OS. So let's take a quick look at that. Now, anyone who's ever used Linux and VMware together knows the two don't exactly work very well together. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I am in fact using the same hardware as last time. The interfaces for each are the same in Linux as they are in Windows. Here is VMware Workstation, and yes, the specs for the virtual machines will also be set to the same settings as last time. As I stated in the last video, I'm much more of a fan of VMware than I am of VirtualBox. The interface is just much cleaner and it's laid out far better. VirtualBox, and I mean no disrespect to the creators, but the interface looks and acts like it was written by a 12-year-old. Now, I talked a little bit more about this in the previous video, so I would go, if you haven't yet, I'd go back and check out the video first. It kind of goes a bit more in depth. But anyways, let's get into it. So first up, Passmark. The CPU test shows VMware pulling a considerable lead of nearly 1,000 points. If you check out the individual scores, you'll see that there really aren't any large gaps with the exception of sorting and CPU single-threaded. In the memory test, VirtualBox fell behind, but not by much. Really, it was less than 100 points. In 7-zip, the results are fairly similar to the previous test. VirtualBox once again finishes first, but only by about 15 seconds. In Handbrake, I used the same encoding presets and source file as before, and it's 100% CPU, no GPU acceleration. And, well, you can see that VMware encoded nearly 10 FPS faster on average and finished about 5 minutes sooner. The single-threaded run of Cinebench once again had VMware pulling ahead. One of the things VirtualBox scored low in Passmark on was the single-threaded test, and, well, we're seeing that here. The multi-threaded run was much closer, but VirtualBox finished last again. This time, though, only by about a minute. For the YouTube test, all hardware acceleration is disabled. Last time, VMware had no drop frames and played the video perfectly while VirtualBox dropped frames left and right. This time, it's the complete opposite. Now, one thing I want to say, though, is that yes, there are ways to tweak each of these to perform better, and I'm doing none of that. This is literally a clean install of both, and then the guest OS installed and updated with the guest editions installed. Now, 3D in a virtual machine without GPU pass-through is, well, it's pretty much crap. Last time I was able to get Heaven to sort of run in VirtualBox, but this time with Linux, it wasn't even having it. So let's compare VMware from the last time with the Windows host to this time with the Linux host. And as you can see, both run, but the Windows host scored a bit higher. There are also driver differences because, well, it's been a few months since that original run, so that could be part of it. Now, I found, as much as I like Linux, VMware Player and Workstation just seem to work better with Windows as the host. And just as I say that, here's Sanctuary. Once again, would not run on VirtualBox. But this time, the Linux host VMware scored nearly 12 FPS higher on average to the Windows host test. And I really didn't expect that. But here it is. Looking at the charts, we can see that most of the scores are similar between then and now. VMware pulled ahead on most, but not all tests. Let's take a look at the two VMware Cinebench runs. Here, just as with the 3D test, we have VMware running on the Windows and Linux hosts. The Windows host once again pulled ahead by nearly a minute and a half on the single-core run. On the multi-core run, they were pretty much the same with the Windows host pulling ahead again, but only by about 3 seconds this time. Now, as I said before, I've used VMware and VirtualBox for years, and on Linux, I almost always go for VirtualBox. There are tweaks and settings you can do to make each run faster. Again, I've done none of this. I installed Linux OS, performed updates, installed VMware and VirtualBox, and then installed the guest OS for the tests. No tweaks were done. If you think I should make a video showing what could be done to improve performance for VMware or VirtualBox, let me know. Maybe I can throw that together. But regardless, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.